Welcome back to part 2 of Carl Panzram on Little Stinkers. Kadanjala, how you holding up?
I'm good. I'm back. We're back, bitches.
Just to be clear, you've forgotten everything that you thought you knew about butt fucking. Am I right?
I still have to forget it all?
Everything.
All right, well, good, because I haven't remembered anything.
You better clear that fucking hard drive before I clear it, Buster. No butt fucking in that brain right now?
I don't think so, but I can't be too sure because I don't even have a clue what it is.
Oh, good answer.
We didn't. There's still a lot more butt fucking to come.
You better believe it, man.
Man, well, I hope you explain what it is to me.
Well, let me just. I got to read this quote to you just to describe how much butt fucking this guy got into. All right. So, direct quote from Carl Panzram. In my lifetime, I have murdered 21 human beings. I have committed thousands of burglaries, robberies, larcenies, arsons, and I have committed sodomy on more than 1,000 male beings.
Beings.
For all these things, I am not the least bit sorry.
Thousands.
And
Thousands of
I lied.
bloods.
That's actually from Berenstain Bears' Papa's Been Drinking.
It's actually Briarstein Bears, you fucking idiot.
1,000 butt fucks.
That's like the Wilt Chamberlain of murdering butt fuckers.
You think he's holding up a card in the number one after he hit his 1,000th butt fuck?
Man.
And
And he hasn't murdered anybody yet, right?
he has not.
Okay.
Burned shit down, beat the living shit out of people, socked a horse, broke its jaw.
Oh, yeah, that's where we just left off.
Yeah, we broke off with him breaking a horse's jaw
And then
for bumping into them.
Oh, my God, dude.
Yeah, he's a real wild dude. At this point, my feelings on him are starting to turn.
Why? Because he starts getting into murdering and butt fucking to death?
Now,
Did he butt fuck anybody to death? You know what? Honestly, don't even answer it. Because what would that even be? I don't have a clue what butt fucking is. I don't know anything about it.
well, I'll tell you. It's when a man enters somebody else between the cheeks area. There's a hole there.
Okay.
A man will put his thing in there, and he'll pork it. So I just want you to know that about butt fucking. Are you clear on that now?
Should I retain that?
Yes, keep that.
Okay.
All right, we're building up your butt fucking encyclopedia at this point.
All right. Well, that's all I got is that base knowledge.
All right, so he had started to, when he was in Fort Leavenworth, he had started to victimize others there.
Yeah.
Even though he had been raped multiple times, he'd been gang raped multiple times, he started butt fucking dudes in Fort Leavenworth.
Yeah. That's the place to start.
All right, so keep that in your head now. So now, at this point, after the fucking horse fire, he ends up in Texas. And he's up to his usual tricks of stealing shit, breaking in the shit, burglaring, probably butt fucking too.
It sounds like, 1,000. He's got to start. He's got to get started.
Well, this one that he engages next is pretty disturbing. So he said by his own admission, when he left Texas, he left with money, with 2 pistols, and a curly-haired, blue-eyed, rosy-cheeked fat boy.
Named?
I don't know.
Oh.
He didn't name him. However, that kind of arrangement, he was what was known as a yegg. Did you ever hear that term?
No, spell it.
Y-E-G-G.
Okay.
So a yegg was basically a burglar that traveled the rails with a little boy that he used as both an accomplice and to have his way with.
And a receptacle
Yeah.
for his cum.
Inappropriate, John.
To call that little fat boy a cum dumpster is inappropriate.
Do you really think we should call that little fat boy a cum dumpster?
Well, did he butt fuck him to death, or is there a happy ending for him?
Well, he didn't butt fuck him to death, so
Well, then
it's a happy ending.
I'll call him a cum dumpster then.
All right, so Carl Panzram's riding the rails with this little cum dumpster fat boy.
This little rosy cheek cum dumpster.
Found my new Gmail password. Thank you very much, John. Dude, I would love to like have to log into support now or like call support and be like, all right, well, what's your last password that you remember? Is that Lil Cum Dumpster Fat Boy with a capital L? No, all lowercase and 3 exclamation points.
And there's no 69s in that at all. I thought for sure it was 69 cum dumpster fat boy, rosy cheeks.
Dude, it gets so much worse for this kid.
Oh, no.
If you think just having to travel cross country on a fucking Amtrak with an ox-strong child molester is bad.
Just keeping that fucking crazy man's dick warm with your asshole.
Dude, you should write Yeg erotica. So, dude, Panzram is what would be considered the Yeg.
Yeah.
All right? And the little fat boy is what's considered, they would refer to him as boy, punk, or Angelina.
Why is that one
I don't
one of
know.
them?
I don't know. So,
Come here, you little punk. You little Angelina.
there you go. I have to be honest with you. Like, I do feel a little bit bad about inflicting corporal punishment on you during this episode.
Oh, you do?
I do. So, with that said, would you like to be my Yeg and I'll be your Angelina?
You want to turn the tables?
I do.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but you're going to need to pop off those clothes, pal. Danny, can you bring out the bikini I've been hiding under there?
Yeah. Quick aside, like John went through a phase for like 2 weeks where every fucking text that I sent him, he responded with, "So what about that bikini?"
I was just trying to see you in a bikini, buddy.
All right. Well, now that you're my Yeg, I might have to. All right. So he's got this poor little fat boy cum dumpster, as John would call him. And they're getting in the shit.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know the term was Angelina.
And for those of you who don't speak Italian, Angelina is actually Italian for cum dumpster. All right, so they're getting into all kinds of shit, doing their typical burglaring, thieving bullshit. So he gets arrested. And not only does Carl Panzram get arrested for doing this shit on the road, but they arrest his Angelina too.
Damn.
I don't understand how this works, but apparently, like, when you would get popped and you had a fucking Angelina with you, that
Angelina's going down with
that
you.
fat boy would have to go to prison with you.
Well, good, because I'm going to need to butt fuck something while I'm in there.
All right, so he's in there, and he's butt fucking this poor Angelina. So they have the Angelina in like an officer's tent because like they were unsure what to do with the kid.
Yeah.
Carl Panzram sneaks out of his tent and retrieves the Angelina, and then they forget about the kid, and he keeps the kid hidden during the day.
Oh my God. What
Yeah.
kind of jail is this?
Pretty
Funhouse mirrors and shit?
pretty fucked up jail. All right, so after this, in 1911, he gets released, and he's got a hard-on for Mexico at this point.
All right.
He wants to go to Mexico. He realizes there's a war happening in Mexico, and he wants to take part in the war because now he's just ready to fucking kill people.
What war is it?
Some fucking Mexican war, man. I don't know.
Okay. They do their own thing down there.
Yeah, it's
It's probably rude of me to even ask.
It's Dia de Diarrhea. Like, I don't know, dude. All right, so he's heading down to Mexico, and he fucking gets he actually makes it there. And he talks to somebody who's engaged in the war. He's like, "Yeah, I just want to join up. Yeah, I want to fight for you guys." And they're just like, "All right, dude, fucking beat it. No, we don't need any child molesting fucking."
Yeah, I know what that means. You want to get us alone down by the river so you can butt fuck all of us.
Dude, you think if he still had his Angelina with him at this point, he would make him wear a sombrero? This kid's wearing like a fake fucking Raleigh Fingers mustache and a sombrero. Just act natural, dude.
Fucking. In America, he would have like a giant lollipop in a sailor suit, but now he's got a fucking giant churro and a sombrero.
All right, dude. So he's fucking dicking around. They tell him to beat it down in Mexico, and he's like, "All right, well, I guess I'll go back up north." So he ends up heading back up to Montana. And typical shit, setting shit on fire, stealing shit, breaking in the houses. He gets locked up for 2 years. Now is when he really starts to hit his groove with butt fucking dudes. Now. You could just
how Carl got his butt fucking groove back.
So
it's actually the working title for this book.
So Carl definitely got his butt fucking groove back because at this prison in Montana, anytime you requested a new cellmate, they would give you one.
Oh my God.
So as soon as he got tired of one dude's
Jail
cheeks,
or heaven if for Carl Panzram.
as soon as he got tired of one dude's cheeks, it's like the saying goes, when one door closes, another one opens. When one set of cheeks closes, another one opens. So he gets to do whatever the fuck he wants. And he says during this time period where he was having unlimited breadsticks.
This is how he got those numbers.
Yep.
Dude. He was living in a fucking brothel for free.
Dude, he was butt fucking so much that he said during this time period, he learned more about sodomy than Oscar Wilde could dream of. He has a way with words. I'll give him that.
He does. That Mozart thing really is going to stick with me.
All right, so at this point, he's locked up for a couple years, so that brings us to 1914.
Okay.
So he's basically dicked around the north.
25, 24,
yes,
maybe.
Yes, 23.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
So, dude,
life this guy has lived.
He's been down south. He's been in the center of the U.S. He's been up north. So now he's like, fuck it. I'm going to head to the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
So he starts fucking around up there. I think the furthest south he goes when he's in the Pacific Northwest is like San Francisco.
Okay.
So he's like, fuck it. He's like, I want to get on a boat and do some shit now.
I want to butt fuck somebody on a boat.
He does. All right. So during this time, he's engaging burglary, assault, highway robbery, and a little bit of sodomy in the sun. He ends up getting arrested in Oregon. So while he's arrested in Oregon, they quickly find out that one of the places that he burgled when he was in San Francisco was the home of the president of the Bank of Astoria, this guy, C.R. Huggins, which is a great bank president name for that time period. All right. So he's in jail for this, and he's just in regular jail now. So he's not in prison yet. He's just in some bullshit-ass jail in Oregon.
Yeah.
So they make him a proposition. They're like, look, you're facing 7 years. If you tell us where you hid all the shit you stole from C.R. Huggins' place, we're going to give you a much lighter sentence.
Yeah.
He weighs his options. He's like, all right, fuck. I don't feel like going to jail for 7 fucking years. He's like, I want to fucking sail the high seas and clap cheeks next to dolphins. He's like, all right, I'll tell you where it is. So he tells him where all the shit is. However, they renege on the deal.
You don't say.
Because the judge, this guy, Judge Eakin, is a personal friend of C.R. Huggins. The guy who got his shit stolen by Carl Panzram. So he's like, fuck it. Now that we got all our shit, you're still getting 7 years.
Man.
He really fucks him over. So what he does is...
that guy's just asking to get butt fucked.
I don't like what you're turning into on this show, dude. Jake was starting to turn on me before he got kidnapped, and now you're fucking turning too.
Look, you told me to forget everything. Now I'm learning so much about it in a short period of time. And I really enjoy talking about it.
All right, so I don't think I'm going to tell you any more about butt fucking because I don't like what it's doing to you. Dude, so he's in jail.
Just take a 5-minute break, whatever.
John, he's in jail at this point, and he's losing his goddamn mind. He is able to saw off a couple of the iron bars on his cell. Mm-hmm. He saws that off. He finds a bunch of rags. He goes around to all of the cells in the jail and a bunch of the doors in the jail, and he stuffs the rags into the locks. So it's essentially people fucking...
He's about to light the place on fire?
He's getting there. So nobody can get to him. And he's just tearing fucking pipes down. He's gathering fucking furniture in this fucking jail, and he sets it on fire.
Jesus.
So...
But he's in there. He can't get out.
He can't get out either. He doesn't give a fuck, though.
Damn.
Eventually, they put out the fire, and then they sentence him to state prison in Salem, Oregon.
Okay.
So at this point, shit's really going to start to take a turn for him here. At the Oregon State Prison in Salem, it's run by a fucking sadist named Henry Minto. This guy was a real cocksucker. He was the warden. So his thing was, like, as soon as he became warden, he cut prisoner pay, which was fucking pennies to begin with. He, there was a certain fund that was allocated to families of dudes that were locked up. He cut that off and redirected those funds to make improvements in the prison. So their families were getting fucked over now.
Yeah.
and then the beatings increased as well. So in addition to like the beatings increasing as well. Now at this time I should note Carl Panzram is locked up there as Jeff Baldwin.
Whoa.
They don't know he's Carl Panzram. They just know him as Jeff Baldwin.
Yeah, I forgot about all those aliases.
Dude, so this is getting so fucked up now because this guy, Henry Minto, is just getting off on all this fucking torture prisoners, just fucking them over. He thinks the way to reform them is just to treat them as badly as possible. And I don't even think he's worried about reform. I think he just likes fucking prisoners up.
Yeah.
So much so that he hires this guy that was the deputy warden, this guy Vinegar. Vinegar got fired for doing fucked up shit before. He rehires Vinegar.
Damn.
And puts him back as the second in command. So what Vinegar does is he starts thinking of all these creative ways to fuck with these guys. So one of the things that he would do is he would whip them with a cat of nine tails.
Oh my god.
He would they would just pull prisoners out of fucking line and just whip them with a cat of nine tails. He would put them in a straitjacket and tie it and buckle it so tight that they would pass out.
Jesus. Not very creative on that one.
Nah. This one...
This guy's getting paid to fucking think of ways to torture people?
This one's pretty fucked up. This one was called the shorting pole, where they would, like, tie you to a pole and they would, like, raise you up. They would keep raising it up until you were on your tippy toes, and then they would pull your shirt over your head, pull your pants down, and fucking whip you.
All right, that sounds pretty shitty.
And at this point, like, Carl Panzram, or should I say Jeff Baldwin, he befriends another gentleman in the prison named Otto Hooker.
Okay.
So Otto Hooker just sounds like a scamp, and he gets in the scamp shit. So they start devising a plan for the both of them to escape. And they're like, okay, we can figure this out. And Otto actually escapes. He takes off before Carl does. While Otto's on the run, one of the cops that's looking for him is like walking through the woods, trying to fucking dig through bushes and shit, see if he's in there. Otto Hooker sees him, but the cop doesn't see him, so he attacks the cop, takes his gun, and kills the cop.
Damn.
So now that intensifies the search.
Yeah.
And at this point, fucking Carl Panzram still hasn't escaped from prison yet. He's working his way out. He gets caught trying to escape because he's crawling through the ceiling above the prison barbershop, and your boy Vinegar just happens to be getting a haircut. And notices like rumbling in the ceiling, and he looks up and he's able to see Carl Panzram shimmying across trying to get out.
I thought you were going to say he was allergic to all the loose hair. He sneezed.
No hair issues with fucking Vinegar. So the search is intensified now that police officer's been killed. So much so that that the warden Minto has joined the search. And he's out there. They engage with Hooker. A gunfight ensues, and Hooker he ends up killing the warden Minto.
Whoa.
Yeah. And Hooker is shot, and he's killed too.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens now is they need to fucking...
Got one, though.
Yeah, they got one. So Minto's brother, John, takes over the prison. And he's even worse. And now he's going to avenge his brother's death by treating these motherfuckers even worse.
Yeah, it's a bad time to be there.
So Minto's is not the fresh maker here, buddy. I'll tell you that much. All right. So at this point, they're whipping Panzram's ass for trying to escape. Mm-hmm. In addition to everybody else in the prisons getting fucked up too.
Are they accusing him of like being in on it though?
I don't know that they knew that he was a part of it.
Yeah. But
they saw him trying to escape, so they're fucking laying into him. And now their boy who's enabling all this fucking torture got killed too, so they can't they might not be able to do that, but because his younger brother John's in charge now, they still can't.
Do it anyway.
They're still fucking doing it. So Panzram's getting fucked up. Once he's able to, he starts to devise a plan to fucking tear shit up. So he starts setting fires, and he tries to rile the other inmates up. So what he does is he steals lemon extract from the cafeteria, and he gets his boys drunk on lemon extract.
Damn, you can get drunk on lemon extract?
Apparently.
Fucking A.
So they get all fired up, and they end up raising hell, but not enough as to where like anything significant happens. So Carl Panzram gets busted for starting a riot in prison, and he gets sentenced to 61 days in solitary confinement.
Oof.
Yeah, pretty rough. And they wouldn't feed him there. He survived off of eating cockroaches.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
And he was fucking the cockroaches' butts, too?
Yeah, he was clapping cockroach cheeks. Man, that's got to be the fucking worst. Like, you're a cockroach, and then you come across the cell of a vicious butt fucker.
A hungry butt fucker, too.
Yeah.
Man, so they were literally trying to kill him in there.
They are. And you know what they say, give a butt fucker a cockroach, you feed him for a day. Teach a butt fucker how to butt fuck a cockroach, and he'll butt fuck forever. Dude, so he's in there, and they devised this special area just for torture called the bullpen. And one of the things they would do is they painted a circle on the ground, and they would have like a number of inmates walk in the circle, and they would have to have their hands on one another's shoulder, and if the hands dropped off, that guy would get shot.
To death.
No, with a fucking hot dog gun, dickhead. Yes, to death.
So the fanatics there.
Yeah. So they could do whatever the fuck they wanted there.
Jesus Christ.
All right. So
it's the paint shop 2.0.
So during all this shit, there's more fires. There's still uprising within the prison, and these two guys, Cocky O'Brien and Step and a Half Smith. They escape Salem. So Cocky O'Brien and Step and a Half Smith are on the run. What happens now is this just sends the torture into overdrive. So at this point, the guards, when they're bringing people down to the bullpen, they're breaking out a fire hose. And they're shooting the fucking inmates at close range with a fire hose.
Jesus Christ. Well, take your skin off.
They were they were fucked up. They were black and blue.
Yeah.
It's the paint shop all over again. I'll take you to the paint shop. All right, so the fucking governor finds out about this, and this is where he draws the line because this story becomes public.
Okay.
So the governor essentially forces John Minto to resign. Now, the next man up that takes over as warden, what do you think he's like?
Can't imagine he's a nicer fella.
Well, dickhead, you're wrong.
He's a nice guy.
He's the nicest guy in the fucking world, dude.
Get the fuck out of here. Finally, there's a break for this guy.
The new warden is named Charles Murphy, nicknamed Spud. Why did they call him Spud?
Because he's fucking a tater to everybody, buddy. I don't know why.
Because the worst punishment that he would dole out is that he would make you peel potatoes.
Oh my God. This is amazing.
Yep.
What's that guy? Fucking slip on a potato peel his first shift and crack his neck or some shit?
No, dude, he lasts pretty long. Dude, what do you hear how he treated Panzram? Because as soon as he gets there, the guards are like, they're giving him the lowdown on everybody, and they're like, look, the worst motherfucker in here is Carl Panzram. Butt fucking cockroaches, setting fires, probably watching Alf when he's not supposed to. Like, this dude's a fucking problem. So Spud Murphy is just like, all right, I'll see to that. So he pulls Panzram into his office. He's like, I want to hear your story. Panzram talks to him a little bit. He's like, Carl, I'll tell you what, you got a bad reputation about here, but here's what I'm willing to do. He's like, I don't give a fuck what you do during the day. As a matter of fact, we're going to open the gates. As long as you're back by supper each day, you can roam around Salem.
Yeah. He's got no idea how much this guy likes to fuck butts.
And Panzram takes him up on it.
Yeah, no shit. It's not even jail.
But dude, the crazy thing is like he doesn't try to escape. He gets out and like doesn't do anything bad enough as to where it brings attention at first.
Yeah.
So he's like,
so it
fuck
works
it.
at first.
Yeah, it's fine. Dude, he can go out and get drunk. Like he's hitting bars. And it's just this doesn't just apply to him. There's other guys in the prison that get like day passes that just go in the fucking Salem, Oregon and tear it up. And then as long as they're back by supper, everything's cool.
Man.
So this guy is dead set on reforming these inmates. So in addition to giving Carl Panzram fucking day passes, all right, he's like, look, I want to find more productive uses for your time. So this is what I want you to do. He's like, I want you to join the baseball team. Carl Panzram joins.
Looks like a fucking.
He does, man.
1910 ball player.
Yeah, that's fucking Diane Howard. All right, so Carl Panzram joins the fucking baseball team. He's no good, and quickly gets so frustrated that he starts acting out. So Spud Murphy's like, all right, baseball is probably not your thing. What do you think he puts him on next?
Football.
No, he makes him play drums in the prison band. He's terrible at drums too, though.
Yeah, it's not something you just pick up.
Well, they'll tell Spud Murphy that, all right? I'm not forming the band here, dickhead. So Spud Murphy's like, all right, man, we still got to figure something else out for you to do because, again, he can't get the hang of drums and he's fucking acting out. Spud Murphy's like, all right, I got it. He makes him the fucking director of the band. So all he has to do is carry a flag and wave it as the band marches.
Yeah, but something tells me that's a little too gay for this buttfucker.
He did it, though, all right? So he's able to keep it together for a little while, but he's just given too much freedom. Eventually he escapes, and then he's caught, and he makes everybody look bad. And while he's gone, he commits an assault, and he gets 8 years for that assault.
Fuck.
Yeah, so it was pretty fucked up. So at this point, we're getting to May of 1918, and he's like, I'm not fucking doing this shit anymore. He's like, I'm fucking getting out of here. So he breaks out of the prison. Again, he saws off the bars. He takes off. He's running, and at first they're just like, is that Panzram? They're like, yeah, I thought he was allowed out. They're just like, no, he's not allowed out anymore. He fucking wore out his welcome. They're like,
yeah,
oh, shit.
Didn't you hear?
Dude, so at
we
this
changed the rules. It's prison again.
Yeah. So he's got a grappling hook.
Where the fuck did he get
You
that?
can get any. A guy he butt fucked had it in his butthole by accident. He forgot to take it out. So he's got a grappling hook and he throws it onto the wall. And as he's going up, I think there were like 200 shots fired at him. None of them hit him.
Jesus Christ, dude.
So he fucking scales the wall and he's able to get out. So now at this point, he leaves Salem, Oregon, and he gets a train back east. And he makes it all the way to New York City.
Okay, first time, right? It's the first time.
First
he's
time in
even
New
come
York.
past the Mississippi.
If you can make it there, you make it anywhere, baby. Especially as a butt fucker. Those rules still apply. All right,
Some things never change.
So this butt fucker gets his seaman ID card.
Is it what now?
His seaman ID card. So now he can work on ships.
Okay.
So once he gets that, this is in New York City.
What a funny thing for him to get.
Yeah, dude, he had it. Like the corners of that mustache were turning up, dude. So he's going all over the place. He's fucking sailing to Panama. He sails to Peru. So now he's an international butt fucker. The cheeks are even sweeter down there. All right, so at this point, after he goes to Panama, Peru, he's been around. He comes back to the U.S. Now, this is 1920. He remembers, like, oh, fuck, William Howard Taft fucked me over. I got to get back at him. So he finds out.
I got to get back at the president now.
Yeah.
Jesus
well,
Christ.
now, like, he had been the president, so now his presidency's over.
Yeah.
So he finds out that William Howard Taft's mansion is in New Haven, Connecticut. So he heads to New Haven, Connecticut. So he goes there. He steals jewelry, bonds, and 45.
From Howard Taft's fucking mansion.
So President Taft's mansion, he steals his own personal gun.
Damn. There's no fucking security anymore.
You can get away with anything during this time,
How the
John.
fuck did he find the president's mansion without the internet in 1910?
So now, dude, he's very close to starting murdering, and when he starts murdering, he uses Taft's gun to kill these people.
No
Yes, sir.
way.
Yep. So
Oh my
that's his way
God.
of getting back at him. So they would know that when he would get caught, it's like, yeah, I used his gun to kill all these motherfuckers. So now he's got so much money from the jewels and the bonds that he stole from William Howard Taft's place. He's like, I got to treat myself. What do you think he treats himself with?
I'm going to venture a guess and say it's more than one butts.
He treats himself to some golden cheeks. No, dude, he buys himself a fucking yacht.
Oh my God, that much money?
He buys himself a yacht and he names it the Akista. So
The Akister?
Yes. All right, you can hit me for that one. That was a good one, dude.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so he buys himself a yacht and he names it the Akista. Now, being a little stinker, he's like, all right, I can do anything on the open waters. No fucking rules apply to me out here. So his grift is he'll go into town in fucking New York City and places where sailors typically hang out. And he'll strike up conversations because sailors are in there drinking, and if they had like an off day or something, they would go to, these bars to look for work for the day, just make a little extra money. He started hiring guys, and he ended up hiring 10 sailors to come out on his boat under the guise that they would be helping him sail. What he would do is he would get them out in the open water, and he would kill them.
Just straight murder at this point?
Well, and butt fucking too.
Do you know in what order?
I do not. I wish I did, but he was butt fucking guys.
How the fuck did he kill 10 guys on his own?
It wasn't all at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So eventually he did this, and
So
there were
you
10
show up to
guys.
a boat and it's like, did we really need 10 of us to do this? I'm starting to think he's going to fuck our butts.
So he butt fucks them, and then he kills them, and then he dumps them in the Long Island Sound. So nobody's going to find these fucking bodies. This goes on till he kills 10 guys, and then one night he goes out, he brings 2 guys on board, and they're sailing south. And they end up running aground in Atlantic City. Who hasn't run aground in Atlantic City, buddy? I'll tell you that much. But the fucking Akista has now been wrecked. All right, so now he doesn't have this anymore. The 2 guys that he had planned on butt fucking and killing are able to escape.
That's no good.
No good at all. At this point, no longer has a fucking yacht. He ends up going back up to Connecticut, and he gets busted for burglary. Does 6 months for that, and he's like, fuck it. I'm going abroad again. He ends up going to South Africa to a place called Luanda, Angola.
He's selling himself there.
What's that?
He's selling himself there.
No, he caught a ride on a ship.
Okay.
He actually, it's funny you brought that up because he actually hid on a ship.
Damn.
And then at a certain point, he revealed himself when it was like, all right, now they can't fucking turn
dying
around.
of dehydration.
Yeah, what are they going to do, butt fuck me? Oh, the horror. So he's out on the ship, and he reveals himself, and eventually, or at first, they're furious. Then he's like, look, I know how to do this, this, and this, and I promise you, like, I'll make this boat run more efficiently with me on it. So they're like, all right, well, I guess we have to fucking do this. And eventually, he outworks everybody. So the fucking skipper falls in love with him, and then when they hit Angola, he tries to convince him to stay on as a member of his crew.
Okay.
And he's like, dude, I got butts to fuck. Dude, I can't stay on here. So once he's in Angola, he finds out about like this oil rig setup that's run by the Sinclair Oil Company. He goes, he applies for a job there. They're like, all right.
Is that what still is like the dinosaur gas station out west?
What?
Sinclair?
I don't know that.
Sinclair Gas?
I don't know that.
You know the ones that have like they all have the dinosaur?
Is that the Pee-wee's Big Adventure one?
I think so.
All right.
I
guess
don't know.
I don't know.
Okay. Sinclair Oil. Okay.
So there's this oil rig set up out there. He's like, look, I'll fucking come out there. I'll fucking work everybody half to death. Nobody's better than me. So this is 1921. They're like, all right, they hire him. He quickly becomes a foreman.
Wait, the fucking war's been going on. World War I. How has he not been like...
Well,
Oh, 'cause
he's
he was
already been
kicked out.
court-martialed. Yeah, he was
so
court-martialed. He was
can't go
dishonorably
back.
discharged. Yeah.
That was before the war started.
Yeah, so
You kind of lucked out.
turns out all you got to do is butt fuck and steal some coats, and they'll let you go. So he's in Angola now.
You have a pencil? I can write that down.
You're learning so much about butt fucking tonight, dude. I'm so proud of you.
It's all because you made me forget everything
knew it,
I
dude.
already
This is
knew.
the way to go. All right, so he's working for Sinclair Oil Company. Starts getting into some pretty fucked up shit. All right. Goes into town, like there's all this simmering racial tension because it's segregated. And they're always like worried about, there's always talks of like a potential uprising where the black people that live in Angola will fucking cut the heads off of all these motherfuckers that are dehumanizing them. So, however, they do have to interact to a certain degree, and one of the things that they interact for is through illegal trade. And what Carl Panzram does while he's in fucking Angola is he's trying to get in to liking chicks. I don't think he ever fully accepted that he was gay.
Yeah, well, it doesn't sound like it.
Yeah. So
He's fucking the butts.
he is.
He's not getting fucked in his butt.
No. So, big difference. So, dude, what he does, and with everything that I read on this, the story just got progressively more fucked up.
Yeah.
So now, what he was doing was he was going to local villages and bartering with locals for their daughters.
What's he got to offer?
$8 for a virgin child. So he goes to this one guy's house. He's like, all right. He's like, give me, I think the daughter was like 11. He's like, all right, I'll give you $8 for her. The guy lets Carl Panzram take the daughter back to the fucking Sinclair campsite.
Jesus Christ.
And other people that worked for Sinclair would speak about like the horror of having to hear children being raped in Carl Panzram's tents.
Yeah.
In his tent. Because it became a regular thing. Now, this particular girl, for some reason, he did not believe that she was a virgin, so he felt as though he got ripped off. Eventually, he takes this kid back to her parents' house, and he's like, you ripped me off. He's like, you're going to give me your youngest daughter. So,
oh, God.
Dude, they had an even younger daughter, and the dad fucking let him have the kid, and he took that kid back to his tent, and then she was essentially his sex slave for a while.
Oh, my God. Do you have a fucking gun at the house?
Who, the dad?
His dad just giving... No, like, is Carl holding a fucking gun up to his head and giving your kid?
Dude, they're just so poor that, like, I guess in his mind that made sense.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. It's just fucked
A.
up all the way around, man. So he's getting ready to leave there anyway. One thing that kind of expedites that is that he's hanging out in town, or he's hanging out in a park, and this little 11-year-old boy comes up to him and asks for directions somewhere. He doesn't know where the kid's speaking about and asking directions for, but he acts like he does because he's going to rape this kid. So what he does is he lures this kid a few miles away to this rock quarry. And then eventually, like, he lets it be known what he's going to do to the kid. Fucking beats the kid senseless, rapes him, and then beats his head in so severely that he said his brain was oozing from his ears.
Oh, my God.
Word spreads. They find they go look for the kid, and they find him a couple days later, and word starts to spread that it might have been Carl that did this. So he gets taken into the U.S. consulate.
Yeah, hey, you know that guy whose tent? And all those sounds are coming from?
Yeah. So he gets taken into the consulate office, and the guy's like reading him the riot act, and then he tells him to wait outside the office, and Carl's just like, fuck this, I'm leaving. So I think what they were going to do is like I don't know that they were going to like send him back to the U.S. because like it's U.S. consulate, so like they don't want him being a problem here to be a problem back in the United States.
True.
They're not aware of like what he was doing in the U.S., which brought him to Angola.
Uh-huh.
So they just think this is like an Angola thing, which is what it says on the T-shirts there. It's an Angola thing. You won't understand, baby.
Don't buttfuck me. I'm local.
But, dude, before he leaves, before he catches a boat back to the U.S., he's got to be a stinker one last time. So he approaches 6 of the locals, rents a boat, and he's like, I want to go crocodile hunting. Can you guys take me out? And these 6 locals that he hires are like, yeah, dude, we'll find some fucking crocodiles. They're out on this boat, crocodile-infested waters. Once the crocodiles start showing their heads, they're throwing fucking chum in the water. Mm-hmm. He kills each one of the 6 guys. He shoots each one.
Uh-huh.
Dumps their bodies overboard. They're all eaten by crocodiles.
Watches the crocs eat them.
Yep. So now he hops on a boat back to the U.S.
Showed a lot of restraint by not butt-fucking those fellas before he watches the gators chomp
I
him
wouldn't
up.
doubt that he butt-fucked them because in this book, like, he does mention that he did not discriminate when it came to race. He said he butt-fucked black and white.
Damn, dude. He's fucking the horniest guy on a fan boat that I've ever seen.
So he gets back to the U.S., and he's back in New England now. And when he's in New England, he kills 2 kids.
Jesus Christ.
So he's on a full-on tear now. Like, he's just killing everywhere he goes. Like, eventually...
Has every single one been with Taft's gun at this point?
Yes.
Or for the most part?
Yes, he's killing people, ones that he didn't just beat to death. Like, I think the kid that he killed in Angola, whose head he smashed into the rock, was just bludgeoned to death.
But if
it
was
was
a
a
gun
shooting, it was
involved,
with President
this.
Taft's gun,
Yeah.
which is kind of funny.
Fucking really a stinker certified move.
So he kills those 2 kids in New England, and then he heads down to New York City. And he's down in New York City for, I don't know how long, but he ends up meeting this 15-year-old kid named George. Now, George is just like a kid that's like hanging out, and I guess is just like trying to like pass time in New York City. George essentially ends up keeping him as a sex slave.
What?
So this kid George is like 15. I mean, Carl ends up keeping George as a sex slave. My bad. So Carl keeps him as a sex slave, and in Carl's mind, he thinks this is like a relationship because the kid isn't putting up that big of a fight. But the reality is, the kid realizes what he's up against, and
if
realizes
he puts up a fight, he's worse off.
Realizes he can't win. So
Carl thinks he's got a boyfriend.
Yeah, he does. Like Carl's in love.
Yeah.
So Carl, he steals a police chief's boat. He steals a police chief's yacht, actually, and
not like a police vehicle.
No.
Boat.
This was like a cop's private fucking yacht.
Yeah.
So, and that's what he has in New York City. So after about a month, he and George live together on this fucking yacht. He's in love. George is just like, what do I fucking do here? They're out one day drinking at a bar, and a guy approaches Carl. He hears Carl talking about this yacht that he has. He's like, I'll tell you what, man. He's like, I'm interested in buying it from you. Carl's like, all right. He sees him flashing like a big wad of money. Mm-hmm. He's like, come back onto the boat and we'll fucking talk about it. So this guy comes onto Carl's new yacht with he and George, starts flashing a little money. They're drinking. And eventually the guy that was propositioning buying the yacht takes out a gun and he's like, I'm actually going to take this yacht from you. Doesn't know Carl is Carl. Mm-hmm. George is fucking terrified because he's never been in this kind of situation before. Yeah. But Carl takes the gun off of this fucking guy and shoots him with it.
Damn.
So as the guy's dying, Carl goes through this guy's pockets, and George is just like stunned because he's never seen anything like this, but he didn't know that like Carl was like this.
Right.
He just thought he was a regular old rapist.
Yeah.
Regular child rapist. You know, he didn't know he was capable
that
of
was
murder.
The extent of it.
Yeah. So, not that night, or during that night, George takes off, and he alerts the police.
No, George.
Yeah.
That's not going to help you.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I mean, did George ever get butt-fucked again?
Not by Carl Panzram, no. So this was June of 1928. He's arrested for sexually assaulting George. So the cops get to him. In July of 1928, he's released for sexually assaulting George. So
that's the shortest sentence he's had.
You unfortunately don't do a lot of time for that kind of stuff down there. And again, I think it's like maybe like he was able to argue in his defense that it happened on international water. So
damn, fucking genius.
Yeah, it happened in the Long Island Sound, which is international waters.
He's like the Jigsaw of butt fucking.
he just rides onto the boat in a little tricycle.
Want to play a game on my penis?
All right, so August 30th, 1928, he's arrested for burglary and he's jailed in Washington, D.C. All right, while he's in there, it honestly seems like he's brokenhearted over losing George.
Yeah.
He genuinely thought that they were in a relationship. Mm-hmm. So while he's in there, he starts coming clean about all he did. Now, there was a guard there by the name of Henry Lesser. Other guards are just giving him the typical Panzram treatment. They're fucking beating him senseless and just fucking him up. So Henry Lesser befriends him. He gives him $1 for the fucking commissary.
Okay.
He's like, here, get some cigarettes. So this was probably the first act of kindness he's ever been shown. He becomes friends with this guard, Henry Lesser.
Yeah.
So during a lot of Lesser shifts, he ends up just like having conversations with Carl Panzram. And Carl Panzram lets him know that, like, look, I've killed 21 people. Or at this time, I think it was 20 people that he admitted to. And I've committed thousands of butt fucks. I've committed numerous arsons. I've fucking burgled a million times. I've stolen all kinds of shit. And Lesser's like, dude, you gotta write this shit down. He's like, you can't just like tell me this. You gotta write it down.
Yeah.
So eventually, he admits to the murders to the authorities, and he's also writing all this shit down. And he's not supposed to have a pen and paper. This guy Lesser is bringing him the pen and the paper because he's as interested to hear this story as Carl is to tell it.
Yeah.
So, he admits to the murders, and they end up sentencing him to 25 to life. Now, they send him to Leavenworth Federal Prison. And you had asked me a couple weeks ago when we did Mad Sam to Seth, no, because that's where he was. And you said, was he in the military? Why did he go there?
Yeah.
So there's
Fort Leavenworth, and then there's
yes,
Leavenworth
there's Federal Prison.
Okay.
So at this point, Carl Panzram is in Leavenworth Federal Prison.
Okay.
And he's still corresponding with the security guard Lesser. And that's what ending up in this book. It was the initial pages of all the shit that he confessed to while he was in that D.C. jail. And then on top of that, it was just regular correspondence. Like once he made it to Kansas, Lesser would continue to write him and he would write back.
Yeah.
So in this autobiography is not only Carl Panzram's story, but then it was also his letters to Lesser. Yeah. So there's tons of fucking shit in here. And I don't get the feeling that any of the shit that he wrote in here is embellished at all.
Yeah.
Everything in here seems like there's one thing. I think one of the telltale signs of like a man being truthful about a wild story is if he admits to getting his ass whooped.
Yeah.
And he's not afraid to admit losing fights.
All the time, yeah.
Yeah. So I believe everything he says, although I have a feeling that he either underestimated or wasn't truthful about the murders. I think he probably committed a lot more.
Okay, yeah. But not big up in himself.
Yeah. But also, too, he also, murder was kind of like a late stage thing for him.
Right.
Up until this point, it was just like arson and butt fucking.
Yeah, and what, is he in his 30s by the time he goes to Leavenworth Federal?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, at this point, he's in Leavenworth Federal, and when he gets sent there, he lets them know, he's like, I'm going to kill the first person that bothers me here. His exact words, the first person that bothers me. So, he gets there.
Fucking hilarious.
They're
dude.
like, all right, whatever, dude. He gets assigned to laundry detail. And the guy that's the laundry foreman
is the most annoying motherfucker in the jail.
This guy, Robert Weinke, was notorious for busting balls of his employees and just being a cocksucker.
But he was also a prisoner.
No, he was the foreman of the place. Like, he was an employee.
Jesus.
So he was just like the overseer of these guys. So, sure enough, he fucking bothers old Panzram. Carl finds a fucking iron bar and he beats him to death with it.
Jesus.
True to his word.
Yeah.
So for that, he received a death sentence.
Okay.
And then
finally fucking giving him more than a slap on the wrist.
So there was a human rights group which was arguing on his behalf. He didn't want this. There was a human rights group that was arguing on his behalf to try to get his death sentence knocked down to life in prison.
Were they trying to get rid of the death sentence completely? Even back then?
I don't know.
Because this guy deserves to die.
If anybody does, like thousands of child butt fucks.
Yeah.
Like, you deserve it. Let alone the murders.
Yeah.
All right. So this human rights group is like advocating on his behalf. Not only his behalf, he doesn't want it. They're just doing it because they think it's a humane thing to do.
Yeah.
And he's like, let me tell you something. I don't wish to be spared the death penalty. My only wish is that all of you had one neck and that I had my hands around it.
Oh my God, dude.
So pretty cool. Eventually, and it doesn't take long. So September 5th, 1930 is his execution date.
Okay.
He's brought out to the gallows. They erect the gallows just for him. And as they're like stringing him up, he spits in the executioner's face. And then
one last horny move.
Yeah, and then on top of that, dude, he tells him to hurry up, and he calls the guy a Hoosier bastard.
What's that supposed to mean?
He's from Indiana.
Okay.
He's like, in the time you're taking to hang me, I could have hanged 10 men.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Going down swinging. Gotta love him.
So then he fucking that day he's hanged, and after that. Like this eventually Henry Lesser like tries to get this published for fucking decades.
Uh-huh.
they finally are able to get it published, and this is what it ended up becoming. So it's Panzram, A Journal of Murder. It's easily like the most interesting serial killer book that I've ever read.
Yeah.
Because you'll never get like their account, and even if you do, it's inflated.
Right.
So, and he gives a very detailed account of what happened, like the small details that like really add to like the richness of somebody's life story, like socking a fucking horse.
Unbelievable.
You know, if you got butt fucked by hobos, would you admit it?
I'd never stop talking about it.
Dude, we should start a YouTube channel where we like rate our hobo butt fuckings.
All right.
Don't forget to like that motherfucking butthole.
And smash my ass.
So eventually he gets the book published, this guy Henry Lesser, and like he's like a very compassionate person. Like it wasn't just that he had a relationship with Carl Panzram.
Yeah.
It's that he was a young guy who got into being a prison guard, I guess just because he needed a job and needed the money. But he quickly saw how fucked up it was. So he spent decades fighting for prison reform.
Mm-hmm.
And there was so much cool shit associated with Panzram that's been archived. Like he ended up giving all of the notes that Panzram gave him to compile into the book. He ended up giving them to the San Diego State University. So there's a documentary. Fuck, I wish I could remember the name of it right now, but it's on fucking Amazon Prime. That's about Carl Panzram. And then they show, it starts off, they're at San Diego State University, and they're showing like the special collections room. And they pull out the Panzram boxes, and they open it up, and they display all these fucking letters of the shit that he wrote.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can just go there and ask for them, but that would be pretty cool. And there is a fucking museum, I think it might be in Tennessee, that has the fucking jacket that he had to wear while being taken to the gallows, and they also have the hood that was placed over his face when he was executed.
Right before he fucking spit in the guy's face. That was the initiation of the executioner's hood. I keep spitting in my face. Can we please put something over their head?
That had to feel good. Like if you were a guy that was like, you just knew your butt fucking was coming. You're just like, he's getting killed today. Yes. So,
has there ever been a movie about this guy besides the documentary, like a movie?
I don't think so, man. There's been songs, but as far as I know, there's no actual biographical movie.
This guy's a fucking asshole. There's a quote by Norman Mailer on the front. Wouldn't expect him to be the guy talking about a prolific butt fucker, but
takes one to know one, pal. But this fucking guy had the most jaw-dropping shit of anybody that we've covered so far.
Yeah, I mean, everybody for the most part has had a fucked up first 20 years of their life.
Mm-hmm.
But by like 13, this guy was.
We'll never cover anybody else who butt fucked as much as he did, and I'm kind of happy about that. I could do without a lot of it.
Yeah, it was rough. It started so funny too, pouring sugar in his hat.
Oh man, that what would be funny if the executioner was a stinker and filled his hood with sugar.
It was his principal from that school. In the movie, that's what we'll do.
Who's going to play Panzram, me or you?
I don't know. I just know it's going to be NC-17.
I think you should, because you've endured all the torture for this episode.
What do you mean?
I've been tortured.
Yeah.
So you should be Panzram.
Yeah.
All right, deal.
Hell yeah.
All right, John, Cowdon thank you for another fun episode. Danny Dubs, thank you for manning the helm while Jake is close to being found. I feel like we're a couple weeks away from getting to him. We're going to rescue him. I can feel it in my bones.
Thanks for watching and listening, guys. Thanks for being patrons.
And
you
again,
guys fucking rule.
If you're the one holding Jake, you better believe we're going to butt fuck the shit out of you.
Yeah, I typically have a no butt fucking policy. But, fella, when I get my hands on you, I'm going to Butt fuck you till you say you're sorry.
Butt fuck your butt, dude. Get ready. All right, later, guys. We'll see you next week.
See ya.